Okay, let's now speak to Edwin Lyman, who's the Director of Nuclear Power Safety at the Union of Concerned Scientists, joining us from Washington, D.C. Welcome to Al Jazeera. So since the start of the war, there have been concerns over nuclear power plant safety. How vulnerable do you think this nuclear plant is to an accident?
Well, unfortunately, Director General Grossi is right. The Kursk, the two reactors at Kursk are Chernobyl-type reactors, and you may recall the terrible Chernobyl disaster in 1986. That was due in large part to deficiencies in the design of the reactors. So these are very obsolete designs. They have serious safety issues, although there were some modifications to these types of reactors after Chernobyl to make them less unstable. They still have significant vulnerabilities. So they do represent a significant risk in the middle of a war zone.
When you talk about a significant risk, I wonder if you can just elaborate a little bit on that. I mean, the effects of Chernobyl are obviously still felt today. So would a Chernobyl-type accident be possible, or how much more developed are the safety measures today?
You can't ever say that an accident is never going to happen. Again, certain modifications were made, but as Director General Grossi pointed out, these reactors do not have the same kind of robust concrete containment structure that most nuclear reactors around the world have. And the nuclear fuel, the core of the operating reactor, has very little, there are very few barriers between the core and the environment. So certainly there has to be a redoubled effort to avoid any kind of inadvertent military strike or collateral damage that could actually impact the nuclear fuel or the spent fuel in this reactor. Ultimately, you certainly could have damage to the cooling systems that might lead to an escalating condition and potential fuel melt and release of radiation. And also, like any other nuclear plant, it's very vulnerable to loss of offsite power as well.
How can these plants be protected? I mean, the IAEA says that it has staff present at all of Ukraine's nuclear sites. What would they be tasked with, and how can they protect these plants?
The IAEA doesn't have any real authority to protect nuclear plants or to oversee their safety. So they are currently in Ukraine on a voluntary basis, but they do, I think the staff there do have a very potent deterrent, that they are acting as a deterrent in that they are eyes and ears on the ground at the Ukrainian nuclear plants, including Zaporizhia, which is under the control of the Russian military since it was seized in 2022. And the presence of international inspectors, I think, does provide an additional layer of safety, in that there's going to be less or more caution in anything that could actually imperil the inspectors. So, but again, all they can do really is observe and report, and they don't always get to see everything. For instance, at Zaporizhia, because the Russian authorities don't let them see everything they want to see.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us from Washington, D.C.
Thank you.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.